First off, I want to say something positive. There's so much good and original thinking going on in the indie music scene today, and there are more people who are awake today and continuing to wake up that this reality is not the way things are meant to be. We can also thank a relatively new wave of people in the current generation taking interest into topics of existentialism because really a lot of us don't know what the future holds, and there's a strong itch to find out. There are also more popular forms of media that are growing into the mainstream consciousness gradually, like Joe Rogan, his Joe Rogan Experience podcast, who I don't agree with on everything, but I appreciate everything he's done in the front of generating unbiased, open-minded media. However, in a lot of ways, we are stagnated, and issues 20 years ago are the exact same issues we're facing today. So I want to share this clip from the movie My Dinner with Andre.
Okay, yes, we are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money, and that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks, and it's not just a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no? See, I keep meeting these people. I mean, just a few days ago, I met this man whom I greatly admire. He's a Swedish physicist, Gustav Bjornstrand, and he told me that he no longer watches television, he doesn't read newspapers, and he doesn't read magazines. He's completely cut them out of his life because he really does feel that we're living in some kind of Orwellian nightmare now, and that everything that you hear now contributes to turning you into a robot. And when I was at Findhorn, I met this extraordinary English tree expert who had devoted his life to saving trees. Just got back from Washington, lobbying to save the redwoods. He's 84 years old. He always travels with a backpack because he never knows where he's going to be tomorrow. And when I met him at Findhorn, he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "New York." He said, "New York, yes, that's a very interesting place. Do you know a lot of New Yorkers who keep talking about the fact that they want to leave but never do?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And he said, "Why do you think they don't leave?" I gave him different banal theories. He said, "Oh, I don't think it's that way at all." He said, "I think that New York is the new model for the new concentration camp, where the camp has been built by the inmates themselves, and the inmates are the guards, and they have this pride in this thing they've built. They've built their own prison, and so they exist in a state of schizophrenia, where they are both guards and prisoners, and as a result, they no longer have, having been lobotomized, the capacity to leave the prison they've made, or to even see it as a prison." And then he went into his pocket and he took out a seed for a tree and he said, "This is a pine tree." He put it in my hand and he said, "Escape before it's too late." See, actually for 2 or 3 years now, Chiquita and I have had this very unpleasant feeling that we really should get out. And we really should feel like Jews in Germany in the late 30s. Get out of here. Of course, the problem is where to go, because it seems quite obvious that the whole world is going in the same direction. See, I think it's quite possible that the 1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished, and that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now, and that from now on there'll simply be all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing, and there'll be nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet. Now, of course, Bjornstrand feels that there's really almost no hope, and that we're probably going back to a very savage, lawless, terrifying period. Findhorn people see it a little differently. They're feeling that there'll be these pockets of light springing up in different parts of the world, and that these will be, in a way, invisible planets on this planet. And that as we, or the world, grow colder, we can take invisible space journeys to these different planets, refuel for what it is we need to do on the planet itself, and come back. And it's their feeling that there have to be centers now where people can come and reconstruct a new future for the world. And when I was talking to Gustav Bjornstrand, he was saying that actually these centers are growing up everywhere now. And then what they're trying to do, which is what Findhorn was trying to do, and in a way, what I was trying to do. I mean, these things can't be given names, but in a way, these are all attempts at creating a new kind of school or a new kind of monastery. And Bjornstrand talks about the concept of reserves, islands of safety, where history can be remembered and the human being can continue to function in order to maintain the species through a dark age. In other words, we're talking about an underground.
We are living in crazy mad times. All the current ideologies seem to be unraveling, and no one knows what's going to come next. Most people choose ignorance as a coping mechanism, and this is the main problem, I believe, of our times. And I know many people who want to believe that the problem is, so-and-so institution, but I know that we have the capability to make our reality to be a true and benevolent one. But more often, it's just a reflection of ourselves that we're seeing out in the world, and our inability to thwart the forces of greed currently existing in all corners of being. I could point you in the direction of author Kurt Vonnegut for these times. It's not important today to insult Trump. It's not important to be at each other's throats all the time over trite differences in our ideology and our egos I choose to identify with. What's important is to recognize reality for what it is, so we can chart and employ the pure logos, which is untapped by anyone, and we can all philosophically deduce this for ourselves. See, the hard part about being me is that most of the time, people don't want to listen to original ideas. They just want to win a two-sided argument. So guys, I want to announce that after about a year of field testing and applying learned ideas to the in real life mainframe since our last post on SoundCloud, I'm close to perfectly calibrating everything. New content should be coming soon. I may potentially use a new YouTube channel if I cannot recover the old one, which I lost access to a very long time ago. I know it's been an incredibly long time, but I hope the fruits of my progress make it worth the wait. Included in the description is my best original content and also a PowerPoint which succinctly describes things, which I'll make into a YouTube video later. I'm also going to later break up some of these documents into more smaller documents with better organization, but for now, just enjoy the bulk of them for what they are. I have had to deal with ungodly amounts of BS, but I hope you guys can understand it was necessary. My first video I plan to make will, I think, be me explaining what exactly I've been doing the whole time. But apart from that, I also want to announce that I have plans to build a forum primarily based on, two ideas. There's the idea of Terence McKenna's archaic revival, which if you look that up, there's a lot of good information about it, as well as the Zeitgeist movement, which you probably know about from the second movie he made called Zeitgeist, a Dum Dum, and the entire Venus Project, Zeitgeist Experience Project, and all that. Before starting that, though, I want to ask you guys to first, if you can, put forth 300 pledges for every member to my forum email account, which you'll find in the description. And once I have them, 300 people who are willing to at least participate a little bit in the forum, I will initiate it and send, actually I won't send an email, I will post on here where the forum is at and when it's ready. It'd be cool if you could type me just in your email like a 2-sentence thing saying like what you want from the forum, what you expect from it, things that you might want to talk about. Just could be just very short, but I'd appreciate if you at least say something relevant. But definitely spend some time learning about these two particular movements, because They're the closest I can find to being relevant to the particular ideas that I want to be playing with on the forum. With any luck, we can use this platform to get my ideas for creating a truly equal and prosperous world that abides by the true path humans need to follow to make actual progress into the future, instead of a future that is being sold to people by big name advertisers and shallow technological messiahs. Alright, so that's everything for this post. With any luck, you'll be hearing from me soon, and we can get things started, and I will attempt to recover my YouTube channel.